What's up, guys? BigFrak here with a low-level tanking Ragefire Chasm. This is going to be the first instance that I'm going to be covering on low-level WoW tanking, and let's get right into it. Now, this is most likely going to be the very first instance that you guys are going to be a part of. And tanking, you know what? As low levels, it's it's not really hard, but it's not efficient. let's just jump into this. I am a level 15 Orc Warrior, and Warriors is at a little bit of a disadvantage when it comes to tanking low level dungeons, just because we don't have no AOE. And the main thing that we're going to have to do here is to tab through the targets. Make sure that we try to get a hit on each target before our group comes in and unloads hell on them. So basically right now, you're just going to charge in, you're going to tab through them, you're going to pop Shield Bash and Heroic Strike. That's about all we can do right now. We're going to be Rage Starved a lot, which will get fixed as we level up a little bit. But the main priority right now, being low levels, tanking, is to try to get the first hit. And this really goes with any tanking all through. You want to get the first hit on every single target before your group comes in, because they don't all know how to hit the same target that you're hitting. So just charging in, shield bashing whenever it's up is a priority. That's going to definitely going to increase your threat on that target by quite a bit. And just making sure that we're tabbing through targets and just tab through targets, make sure that we're getting the hits on them. Now, I will suggest that you get some sort of plates, like I'm using Tidy Plate threat plates. It's going to make your job a lot easier. That would be the red bars that are above their heads. When they're red, I have aggro. When they turn colors, I don't. So you can see I'm dropping some aggro there, picking it back up. I mean, really, guys, low-level tanking, you just get in there, do your best. I mean, the dungeons are pretty much easy, so it's not that big of an issue. Like, if you're dropping aggro, it's not the end of the world. Don't give up tanking. Tanking's a lot of fun, it really is. It can be frustrating at times, especially at lower levels. People go in there and they don't have the abilities to hold aggro on big mobs, because at this low level, everyone's new. They're not really knowing the focus on you, focus on the tank. They're just hitting whatever they can hit, and they're unloading hell on it. And they're definitely not waiting for you to make sure that you hit every single person in the mob. So, you just got to take it the way it is. It will get better. Once you get level 20 as a warrior, you'll get a Thunderclap. Paladins are at an advantage because they get their, I don't really know what it's called, but it's the shield throw. They get that pretty early on, which will hit multiple targets. So they're at a little bit of an advantage. But it's really simple. These lower dungeons are really, really easy. Realistically, you could probably come in here and not even be in tank spec and be fine. But it's good practice to go ahead and start doing it the way that it needs to be done. That way, later on down the road, when you're getting into a little bit more difficult dungeons, you are doing the right thing and you know what to do. So again, make sure you're tabbing through the targets. Rotate your shield bash on them. If you drop aggro on one and the shield bash is up, you want to shield bash the one that you don't have aggro on, or taunt if taunt's up. But one of the main key factors in tanking is to make sure that you get the initial hit in. You got to hit the targets in order to have aggro. Just remember that. You go into a mob of 3 and you charge in and you're just focusing on one. Somebody shoots the one that you're not focusing on, well, you lost aggro. So you got to make sure that you tab through and you're hitting every single target before your group members can come in there and hit a target, or your healers heal. So just making sure you shield bash. Make sure that if you have victory rush, that you're hitting that. Help out the healers a little bit. But again, these lower levels, lower dungeons, you're not really going to have that big of an issue. healers should be able to heal you with no problem. Even if you lose aggro and it goes to a different player, I mean, you should be able to get it back in a reasonable amount of time that it's not going to cause any issue. And as far as boss fights go, you know, these lower instances, there's really no mechanics. Really just tank and spank. You know, they're here to level you up, to introduce you into tanking. So if anybody is thinking of tanking, and they're, you know, just worried about holding aggro and stuff, don't worry about it at a lower level. I mean, you want to worry about it, but don't don't lose sleep over it. You're going to lose aggro. You don't have an AoE. You don't have Thunderclap yet. So it's going to happen. You're going to lose it. I mean, the best thing, like I said, is just when you get into a mobs, you want to tab through them and make sure that you're hitting every single one of them before your group can come in and start unleashing their hell. Now, it ain't always going to happen. You know, as a warrior, you are depending on rage, so you're not always going to have the abilities available to hit every single target before your group gets there. But just keeping an eye on it, getting tidy plates or some sort of plates is going to help you out a lot. That way you know when you're losing aggro, you know when you got it, and it's right there in your face and you can't miss it. So coming up to this boss here, you know, like I said, all these bosses are tank and spank, simple stuff. Get in there, shield bash, you know, put 3 stacks of Sunder armor on there, and just wait for shield bash to come back off. That simple. Now you do want to make sure that you are doing your shield bash every single time it's up, and that you are stacking Sunders, and just overall helping at DPS, because most likely your DPS as a tank is going to be higher than your rest of your groups as a DPS at this level, definitely. So, and I think that holds true for most of the levels. But this here is my orc, Mr. Bohannon, and I will be doing the tanking series with him, low-level tanking, World of Warcraft. And I wanted to do these because when I was wanting to tank, you know, I was looking up tank guides and stuff like that, but they're all for cap level. And there's nothing out there on lower levels and telling you how to do it or the best ways to do it. So I figured that I would just take Mr. Bohannon's journeys through these dungeons and put them into a video for anybody else out there who is looking to start tanking at a lower level and want some low level, you know, feedback on how to do it. You know, coming to the end of this dungeon right now, this is a very simple dungeon, and I highly recommend if you are going to be a tank and even a healer, you're going to spend a lot of time in dungeons if you're wanting to level fast. Once again, this boss has nothing special. Tank and spank, get in there, shield bash him, Sunder armor. Shield bash is priority off of cooldown, then Sunder armor him when you can, until you get 3 stacks. Once you get 3 stacks, you just maintain 3 stacks, and then you can throw in like a heroic strike or something like that. But always shield bash off cooldown. It's going to be your priority. Once again, guys, that's low level dungeon run right there. Ragefire Chasm. There's going to be a lot more of these coming. You're going to lose aggro. Don't lose sleep over it. Until we get a little bit higher in the levels, until you get some AoE attacks like Thunderclap, it's going to happen. Once again, tab through your targets. Make sure that you're trying to hit every single target before your teammates get there. And then just maintain and throw shield bash whenever it's off cooldown. Guys, that's been a low-level tanking with Mr. Bohannon. We'll see you guys in the next dungeon. Happy tanking.